All right, so I'm gonna start this video with a metaphor because I think this is the best way to teach it, and that is because when I was like 8 or 9, it's like we used to have like this very like nice acre of land, like it was a big place that had a lot of like places to run. And back then, when I would go visit my family members in their farm, we would have three dogs, right? We have a Labrador, a like a golden retriever, and this really like smart, adorable like mixed breed dog that I have no idea what but he's like a mix between two dogs. And his name was Rocky. He was an amazing dog. He was really like he was kind of short, but also like really like cute. It's like a I think he was based on the corgi or something. You know the ones that have like the really fluffy and the like really long. Like it's really strange dog, but he was my favorite dog, right? And every time that I would like go out to the farm and we would go out and release the dogs, we would play this game called Fetch, where we would like I would have like a bone, right, and I would throw it really far away, and the dogs would go after it. And when they came back, they knew that if they brought the bone with them, I would give them a treat. That's the name of the game, right? You throw something and they bring it back, right? And of the time, like I was 89 years old and 8 or 9, sorry. And like I didn't think much about it, but I remember that the first few times, like all three dogs would go after it. They would go chase the bone. They would have a bad time trying to fight each other over it, and they would come back and I'll give them a treat. Sometimes I give all of them treats, but no, the winner usually get the treat. And I remember one time, like over time, the mixed breed dog found something out really fascinating. And what he did is, instead of chasing the bone, he would actually just sit next to me. And I was like 9 years old at the time. I didn't think much about it. But now that I look back into it, I realized that sometimes in the heat of the moment, because the dogs are coming after you at full speed trying to get the treats, right? I would sometimes like instantly try to get some of the treats from my pocket. That's where they were. And sometimes I would drop a treat, and then Rocky, the dog, would come in and get the treat from the floor. And I was like, oh, okay, go chase the treats, and thinking about it, I didn't think much about it, but now that I think about it, that is actually the best way to go after luck. You don't chase luck. You set yourself up in a place where luck naturally comes to you. And for me that was like incredible. And to think that like 13 years after that, that would be a lesson that I would learn from one of my favorite dogs, that he died of like age, but it's also because he had a heart condition. It was a really sad story. And the other two dogs, one went to the farm, and honestly, that was like 13 years ago, so all of them died. But that was a really interesting story that I was looking back upon, because I was looking at some old pictures and all that. And it also gave me a lesson on something that I'm actually quite like I feel quite privileged, that quite lucky as well, that I got to learn it early enough. And I'm gonna actually tell you another metaphor. So there's this YouTuber called Casey Neistat, and he made a video. I can't find it for the life of me. I tried, where he said that luck is opportunity and preparation mixed together, and you have both components, and then you jump into it, and then luck will come after you. But throughout life, like a lot of people, they chase after this thing called luck, which it is essential. It is important, because luck essentially is like a multiplier. I like to think of it like getting the rainbow star from like Mario. When you get that star and you go like rainbow mode, and you basically become invincible, because for that period of moment that you have luck on your side, it doesn't matter the advantages that others have. It doesn't matter the situation that you're in. Once luck decides to be on your side, you essentially, it's like you open like the sea and you go and you're able to walk through like a path that was made for you, because you got lucky and you managed to get in at the right time, at the right place, or be on the just be at the right place at the right time. And for like, it's funny because back in like in life, most people try to chase after this thing called luck, and you see how they fail. Another metaphor, or another circumstance that I can think about this is back in the pandemic, 2020, from January to March of 2020. That was like an end of the world scenario, by the way. If you didn't think about, like, statistically, we could have been wiped out and we didn't, which is awesome. That means we survived the end of the world scenario. That's quite lucky if you think about it. But during 2 months, I remember that I was learning about the stock market, and I didn't know much about it. So I remember seeing everyone panic, and they would try to like chase after the luck. They would try to buy the bottom and sell the top, and they would freak out in between, and they would go like a roller coaster, go way down and then way up and then way down. And naturally, now that I think about it, like back when that happened, when it started going way down, that's everyone selling. And when it went way up, that's everyone buying. And what I would do is I would do the same thing my mixed breed dog would do, Rocky. I would sit on the sidelines and I would wait for the market to do its thing. So when it would go way up, I would buy puts. And when it would go way down, I used to buy calls. And I remember, man, I was making a killing in the pandemic. Like I started at 4K, like for $4,000, and I think it went up to 20,000, and from those 2 months from January to March. After that, then I started trying to like do the same thing, but it didn't work because I tried to do what everyone else tried to do in this market. They tried to chase it. So every time it would go up, I try like short it, and time it went down. So, and I eventually like. And then I changed to the investor mode, and that's when I like had a really good time with the market. But from that 2 month period, you could say I was lucky because I wasn't really thinking about it. I wasn't trying to time it. I wasn't trying to do what I had to do to be the smart, intelligent investor. No, I saw the market do like an exponential move, and I was like, oh, it's gonna go the other way, and I was making a killing. And that is what I consider luck to be. Luck to be is essentially you placing yourself in a scenario where luck inevitably goes to your side. And the funny thing is most people actually do the opposite. They set up themselves in a scenario where luck will never be on their side. Things like, playing the lottery. People play the lottery like, oh yeah, with the 1 in 10 million chance you're going to win the lottery. Sure. I mean, sure, yeah. Set yourself in a place to definitely lose those $2, which they add up over time, guys. Some people are addicted and they spend 20, 30, 50, $100 on that stuff. So do you think they're ever going to get lucky? I mean, I don't know, maybe they could, but statistically they won't. Statistically, luck will not be on their side because they're not setting themselves up in a place where luck will inevitably go to them. They're chasing after it. You never chase after luck. You let it come to you. You set yourself up in a position where luck inevitably goes to your side. Another thing in YouTube, like let's say for example, like in my channel, this channel right now has about 18 subscribers, which is awesome at the time of recording, which is November 1st. So that's pretty cool. And like right now I made a bunch of videos, and I expected 2 of the videos to do really well, which is the one I'm moving up to the apartment, and also the youth video. I'm gonna leave in the description if you want. And none of those videos have done well because I didn't set them up to chase luck, but I expected them to do well. But they didn't, it's not because I wasn't thinking about it. I was like, oh, maybe the algo will get him. No, the algo doesn't care. But funny enough, the video that I didn't expect to do very well, which was the caught stealing at Walmart, which is a story of essentially what I tried back in when the Pokemon cards, I got addicted to Pokemon cards, man. It was a wild ride. And when you don't have money and you want to gamble, essentially, because Pokemon cards is a form of gambling, you do things. So fortunately, I got caught and I never exited the store with it, so I learned my lesson, and now I buy stuff like I should. I'm in a better situation now, but back then, I set myself in a disadvantage because not only would I have done something bad, but I also would have, lost money. Chances are that wouldn't have the chunky rainbow Pikachu that I was going after, Probably not, Maybe it did, but probably not, Statistically, that wasn't on my side. So, in life, you just try to put yourself in a position like my dog did. Try to get yourself in a place where luck inevitably goes to you. And if I would have tried to chase after luck on the YouTube channel, what I would have done is I would have been like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna make videos about caught stealing at Target, being caught stealing at Meijer's or something, keep it rolling. Maybe I'll make a reaction video on other people stealing in Walmart. Maybe give them my opinions. Like, oh man, you should have probably done that. Now, no, what I'm trying to say is you shouldn't chase after it. What you should do is set yourself up in a place, and right now, that's what I'm doing with this channel right now. I'm not expecting this channel to grow into something massive. I hope it does in the future. That'd be fantastic. But, what I'm doing is I'm just following what I think is best and being prepared, trying to make these videos good enough so when inevitably the search comes and people want to see these videos, they are good enough for the luck to take over and the algorithm and all these special components, which I'm not in control of because you are not in control of luck. What you do is you set yourself next to it, not chase after it. I said it a million times because you need to figure this out, because if you don't figure this out, you're always going to be trying to you're gonna end up losing more than winning, and you're gonna put yourself in a situation where you're like, oh man, I'm gonna get this credit card, I'm gonna swipe it because I know that I need this computer to build this channel. No. You don't do that. You never do that. That's gambling. The funny thing is, if you gamble for luck, it's essentially what you're doing is repelling it. You can get lucky, but you'll never be as lucky as somebody that prepared themselves and put themselves in the right opportunity and, actually ended up having more luck than you did. Because even if you do have a short term, eventually it'll catch up to you. It will. So if you do ever get any whiff of luck and you end up like getting yourself to an advantageous position with risk, I would suggest cashing out and or taking away your initial capital and letting the profits run, because in that case, then you're essentially what you're doing is you're neutralizing it. You're like, okay, let's see how far it goes, but I'm not desperate to make it go farther, And what you'll figure out is that eventually luck will come to you. If you prepare yourself for it, you'll be fine. And the best example for this I can give you is successful channels right now. Like if you look at any successful channel, if you notice how the way they grew, they don't grow like a spike. They grow like let's say, I don't want to say like a roller coaster, but they kind of like go up gradually, and then they just kind of like it increases. It's like a reverse form of a snowball, because snowballs go down, but instead they go up in this case. It's pretty wild once you look at it, And if you look back into it, you say like, oh yeah, maybe he became an overnight success. No, guys. What he did is he did what my dog did. He stood next to the opportunity. Like, he knew the opportunity, so he stood next to it. And then he waited for the breadcrumbs. And you give him enough breadcrumbs and you'll realize, hey, now this is what I gotta do. And just keep doing it continuously, and you'll figure out that if you do the right thing and you provide the value that you want, inevitably you will be where you want to be. And you'll get luck on your side. So don't chase luck. I mean, you can try to gamble with it. Maybe you'll get lucky. I don't recommend it because, in life, like I said, if you chase something, you can get it, but most of the time, if you're desperate, you won't. You gotta keep something called consistency on it. And if you keep that consistency, you'll be fine in the long term. But if you go after it with desperation, you might have success. I've seen stories where people actually do succeed and they're desperate, but like I said, guys, it's a form of luck that I simply don't recommend going after, because chances are you will fail. And those that you do see that have succeeded from that like risk, like aggressiveness, I call that survivorship bias, which is a real thing, by the way. Survivorship bias is actually a real thing, if you believe it or not. So, be smart with it. Be smart with it, and you'll see that in the things that you want, and you're going to get eventually. You set yourself in the right opportunity, and you prepare yourself, and you do it smart. You don't chase after it. You keep up your momentum. You do the thing that you need. You have to do the absolute. Make sure you're doing the thing you need to do, because, you're not going to lift a weight once a day and think, oh, yeah, I'm going to have a six-pack in 6 months. No. You got to keep up a consistent routine and schedule that eventually improves you and becomes harder and more difficult, and you go up at a certain level. But make sure you're carrying this with you, not for you. Or no, don't try to like go after it. No, make sure you stay next to it. If there's another metaphor for this. Like I wish I could come up with it, but like, some people go to the gym and stuff like that, right? And you realize that they get discouraged easily. That happened to me the first time I went to the gym. It happened to me. I went to the gym and I didn't know anybody because I don't like talking to people, right? I'm sort of antisocial in that sense, and it's because I was trying to be kind of selfish as to, why are people talking to me? Why aren't people approaching me? I'm the new guy in the gym. You should be trying to be friends with me, right? No. You're chasing after the luck in that case, because you're waiting for somebody to approach you, which they might, but chances are they won't. Now, what happened is I flipped it around. Instead of me chasing luck, I put myself in the proper opportunities to meet people, and then I met some amazing people in the gym, instead of me actually waiting for people to help me out and trying to act like a macho that can do anything, I actually went around and I talked to some people. I did the approach, and what happened is everyone didn't stoop down to me. Everyone was saying hi. I only talked to 2 people, by the way, and the next thing I knew, 3-4 people were trying to say hi to me, and I was like, Wow. I wasn't chasing after everybody. I was just doing something natural. I genuinely like I was curious about what the person was doing, and then next thing I told him, "Oh, I'm new to the gym." He's like, "Oh, dude, you're new to the gym. Okay, how have you ever gone to the gym before?" No, I never did. Okay, you gotta start with that, and then we started talking, having a nice chemistry. You know, it's a different thing to explain because I wish I could come up with a fancy script and saying it, but you know, you essentially put yourself in the opportunity. You don't chase the luck. You let it come to you, or you place yourself very close to it. So inevitably, it'll drop its breadcrumbs on you, you know, and you'll next thing you'll know, you'll have it on your side. And you don't even know what happened. Of course, then you know you might get too lucky, and then controversy might hit. So you gotta be careful with it. But anyway, I just want to make a video on that, guys. I hope it helps you out. And hey, I'm using the proper mic this time, so hopefully it sounds way better than the phone and the GoPro that I use in my car. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you liked it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.